Yes. Mm-hmm. And that was quite nice. There was 3 tents there, and the Queen Elizabeth was in one tent, and King George was in the other tent, and the Governor General was in the other one. And I was hoping I would get either the King or the Queen, because we saw the Governor General so often. We knew my husband Art. He knew the lad that was head over the catering at Morse and Moth, and they grew up together, John McMullen and Art.
Okay.
So John came to our apartment one night, and he said, "Would you like a job?" I said, "A job?" I said, "I have no working skills. Where do you expect me to work?" And he said, "At Morse and Moth," he says, "catering." He said, "We have to be very careful whom we pick." And he said, I would know somebody that would do it, I'm sure. So I said, I wouldn't know how to wait on a table. I said, I would stumble over my own feet. And he said, no, you wouldn't. He said, there's nothing to do. He said, everything is prepared at the Morrisons, and we take it out and we put it on the tables. And he said, all you have to do is serve it. Not serve it, but make sure that they're tidy.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you can do that. He said, take one plate away and put a fresh one on. Keep them in, no matter if only there's 4 or 5 pieces of cake is on or sandwiches. Remove them, bring back a fresh plate. You can do that. And I said, well, I guess I can. Maybe, I don't know. And he said, sure you can. I'm putting your name down. Miss Fennell was the head lady. And she said, your name is going to be, and you'll have to go down and get a made uniform. Yeah. Everybody's having one made to order. Yeah. And so there was a busy 2 weeks. We had to go through a little bit of scrutiny and find out who I was, and a little bit, sure. Not too much, because John vouched for me, you see. Right. And so it ended up there that we had to go down to the Governor General's residence, and it was all cornered off, horses and guards, and quite impressive. When I got down there, I was, because Art couldn't go, and he was such a short distance from the gate, mm-hmm. and I had to make my way in through, I thought, I'll never be able to find my way through this maze, And here I was, how old would I be? About 25, 27, I guess. Mm-hmm. It was a year after I was married, 26. And finally, I went up to this impressive-looking gate, and I told who I was, and this guard was at the door, and to another officer nearby, and yes, sir, he says, lady at the gate wants permission to enter. Her name is so-and-so, and she's going to be one of the service for Morris and Moth. And so he did some phone calling, my name, and first thing you know, I was ushered in, and I had an escort right to the tent. And there was these 3 big tents. So, lo and behold, I got the one with the king in it. And we got all through our drill and what we were supposed to do prior to that. And it was nothing to it. It was like a can of worms or something. We didn't have too much of a trouble. And John came along, and he said, are you all right? And I said, sure, I'm fine. He said, no problem, eh? I said, no, none whatever. I said, until maybe the last minute. No, he said, just be as you are. And he said, it'll be fine. So anyway, I got into the king's tent, and lo and behold, doesn't he come in? Like there was 3 massive cakes, you see, in each tent, and we didn't know. So in comes the king in ours with his...
This is King George.
King George, yeah. And I was right as near as I am to you, And it's all lovely, and ladies, he says, it's very lovely in here. And, he was going on and talking very, very, so he knew us all. Mm-hmm. And he said they came along then with a silver knife, and he cut the cake. And the cake was just about here, you see, and he cut the cake, and then another server came, his aide-de-camp, with the uniform on, and another very lovely dish, and had taken a piece of cake out and gave it to King George. And he took it in his hand and he ate it. Jolly good. He says, jolly good, I would say, And everybody clapped, not us, you know, but
Yeah.
the guests
Yes.
all clapped. And he got beat red, just from his neck up. And
Is
they
that right?
told us after that he's very,
Shy.
very shy.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very shy. And it overwhelmed him for this applaud,
Applause.
I guess. Yeah. And so it was quite nice. But you know, he was in there about maybe 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And he had this taste of cake.
Mhm.
And away he went, and away everybody went. They followed him.
Is that right?
And there was nobody in that tent after that. They just followed him all around the grounds.
Wow.
And the queen, and we looked out and we could see the queen, but she wasn't too near, but near enough that we could see her, you know. What are we going to do now? I said to John. John came back. He says, I don't know. He said, they won't be back now. I said, what are you going to do with all this food? Couldn't do anything, didn't know what they were going to do with it. You can take it home. They couldn't give it to the orphanage because it'd been exposed to the, they couldn't give it to the hospitals.
Really?
And there was no such thing as the food bank.
Yeah, no.
So some of the girls were that worked there, you know, the old pros that worked for Morrison and Moth, they were filling boxes and everything. And of course I'm like a sore thumb. I didn't know what to do. So John came back. He said, "Where have you? Do you want a few trees to take home?" And I said, "How can I carry them on the bus?" I said, "I have no way of getting to Art."
Mm.
I said, "I can't get out of this ruddy place." I said, "It's all." And he said, "My car's over there." He said, "Go and fill a couple of nice boxes and take them home." So I got some sausage rolls and some things that you don't see every day.
Mm-hmm.
Packed them away and went to John's truck, a car. Couldn't even open the door. The girls ahead, had whatever all their things in John's car.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
passenger seat right up to the ceiling. John had just enough room to get in there to steer the car. So I thought, well, I can't take them. So I just had to leave them. Couldn't. But the food, but it was an honor.
Yeah.
It was an honor.